Boston, 41 Chaves e o coach Scott. Vamos para a apresentação da equipe de arbitragem. Cat, Enzo, Gustavo e o comendador Axel. Neste momento, pedimos que todos os presentes se coloquem em posição de respeito para a execução do hino nacional da Grã-Bretanha. Todos e todas em posição de respeito para o hino nacional dos Estados Unidos.
Aonde está aquela garrafa d'água lá? Você lá. Nós temos que montar uma transmissão lá. Então o que eu preciso? De um cabo desse aqui vai grudar lá na mesa. Se for de cá, pode montar de cá. Eu acho que o dedo está mais fácil aqui, ok? Tem que sair uma saída lá do negócio do parangolé dele e entrar aqui. Esse vai lá dele lá e esse aqui vai no PC, ok? Ok? PC aqui, energia elétrica, ok? Ele vai precisar de um cabo de rede, então tá ali na mão da Patrícia ali, ok? Vai tirar, não vai ligar agora a internet, só vai deixar lá, ele vai desplugar a internet dele, colocar aqui. Eu acho que esse aqui se conecta no computador, deixa tudo pronto, mas não mexe nada dele, nada. Depois do jogo ele espeta, porque senão tá bom aqui. E essa caixinha de som também vai arrumar, vai devagarzinho. Se precisar, coloca uma mesa ali, devagarzinho, cabeça baixa, para não atrapalhar a câmera. Muito cuidado, só um. Tá? Com essa marra, vai passando, você dá uma de louca, pisando roupa. Status materiais, sobe seu ego, nariz e pinga mais.
Good afternoon from the Paralympic Training Center here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as we bring you Pool B action, the USA up against Great Britain, and welcome to all the fans from the USA and Great Britain joining us for the action. Match officials for today's game, Kathy Hay from Australia, and she is assisted by Enzo Fernandez and Gustavo Matias. Great Britain come into this game undefeated in Pool B, whereas USA with the one loss to Italy. Players to watch out for from both sides. Oscar Knight averaging 18 points a game throughout the tournament, and Jack Long sitting at just under 16 points a game. And for the USA, Timothy Houston averaging 12 points. And action underway. Great Britain will grab the first possession. Oscar Knight will convert for Great Britain. Foul is called, so Knight will go to the line for the bonus shot. Foul on that occasion by USA's Gavin Peterson. Oscar Knight unable to make that a three-point play, and Timothy Houston will bring the ball up for the USA now. Finds Peterson. Peterson will find Andrew Butel. Rebound collected by Jack Long for Great Britain, and Charlie McIntyre in possession now. Great Britain controlling the play nicely. Jack Long. Timothy Houston will pick the ball up around about the halfway line, and will have enough time to make sure for the USA. So Houston gets the USA's first points of the game. Charlie McIntyre now in possession for Great Britain. McIntyre with time and puts up the shot, but the rebound will be collected by the USA's number 30 there, Keyshawn Pear. Timothy Houston now in possession. Pear back to Houston. Houston long across the paint to Colin Lancaster, and USA will convert. Good work there from Andrew Butel, so he'll go to the line. Butel gives USA a 1-point lead. Early stages still of this first quarter. Tegris will play it in towards Oscar Knight. Foul's going to go against the USA though. Timothy Houston, the guilty party. Jack Long to inbound the ball for Great Britain. Plays it to Knight. Now Long will set himself up, decides to give the responsibility to Charlie McIntyre. McIntyre finds Tagrest, and good work there from Tagrest. Pair to Andrew Butel, Timothy Houston. Timothy Houston fouled there by Charlie McIntyre, so USA will inbound from just inside their own half. Houston across to Pear. Keyshawn Pear looking for Houston again. And Andrew Butel with enough space, puts up the shot and takes the USA up to 7. 7:25 to play here in this first period. McIntyre. McIntyre will find the pass through there to Thomas Harvey, and Harvey unable to add to Great Britain's points. Houston, though, comes up with it. Foul on that occasion by Oscar Knight. Substitution for Great Britain. Off goes Tagris, and onto the floor for his first bit of action, Oliver Porter. Houston gets the shot up, and foul goes against Charlie McIntyre. So Houston will go to the free throw line for 2. Houston converts one of the two, takes USA into a 2-point lead, just under 7 to play in the first period. Charlie McIntyre looking for a way past Keyshawn Pear, decides to spin back, thought about the 3, decides that the better option there was for Jack Long, and Long obliges. Keyshawn Pear unable to find his way past Oscar Knight, but Timothy Houston now will pick up the possession in the USA offensive half, and Keyshawn Pear converts for the USA. Jack Long plays it across to Charlie McIntyre. McIntyre looking for some space, throws it to Long. Foul's going to be called on one of the USA players. Didn't quite see who that was. USA substitution. Timothy Houston is withdrawn, and onto the court for his first bit of action, Jude Hiley. Charlie McIntyre looking for space in the paint, and finds the pass through to Thomas Harvey. Harvey converting for Great Britain and doing some good work initially to win the ball back, and manages to force the foul from Keyshawn Pear. So good work there by Great Britain's number 4, Thomas Harvey. Jack Long plays it to Oscar Knight. Just looked away there. Long as Knight handed it back to him, but good recovery from Long. McIntyre now in possession for Great Britain. And he will put up the shot short on that occasion. Here comes Keyshawn Pear for the USA now. Jude Hiley, closely watched by McIntyre. Andrew Butel with 1 on the shot clock, needed to get the shot up, and McIntyre will pick up the rebound for Great Britain. And the USA players goes crashing to the ground, Keyshawn Pear, and in the meantime Oscar Knight will have the 1 attempt, picks up his rebound, tidies up nicely for Great Britain. Jude Hiley in possession for the USA. Jonathan Smith back to Hiley. Butel. Smith once again. Shot clock at 5. Smith will need to make something happen here. Gets up the shot. Scores back level. 12 apiece. 4:18 to play in this first period. And McIntyre will find Oscar Knight. Not successful on that attempt. Would have been disappointed with himself. Jonathan Smith also unable to make the most of his opportunity. McIntyre into Long, and Long converts for Great Britain back into the lead. 14-12. 3:40 to play in the first period. Peterson for the USA finds Hiley, and defensive foul is called against Peterson again. Substitution USA. Keyshawn Pear goes off, and onto the court for the USA. Colin Lancaster. Charlie McIntyre played across to Jack Long. Oscar now trying to find a space to get in, and Long puts up the long-range shot, doesn't land. USA pick up the possession. Andrew Butel. Butel finding some space opening up for him, but unable to convert for the USA. McIntyre. McIntyre will find Oscar Knight, and Knight will convert. And at the same time, Colin Lancaster guilty of pushing Oscar Knight. So Knight to the line for the bonus attempt. Knight completes the three-point play. 5-point advantage for Great Britain with 2:47 to play here in this first period. Jude Hiley plays it across to Lancaster. Lancaster puts up the shot. The rebound will be collected by Knight. Knight to McIntyre. McIntyre looking for space. Plays it across to Long. Long will look to Oscar Knight, but good hands there from Jude Hiley. Swatting the danger away for the USA. Timeout will be called by the USA head coach Scott Mayer. 2:15 to play here in the first. Great Britain 17, USA 12. .2:15 to play here in the first period. Long will find the pass into the paint to Thomas Harvey. Draws the foul. Harvey will go to the line for two. Substitution USA. Back into the game comes Keyshawn Pear, and he replaces Colin Lancaster. Paulo takes the Great Britain tally up to 18. And 2 from 2 from the free throw line on that occasion. 2 minutes 10 to play in the first period. Andrew Butel for the USA. And Butel will take USA up to 14. Charlie McIntyre will pick up the position for Great Britain. McIntyre, enough time on his hands to control that shot. Butel will bring it up for the USA. Plays it out to Jude Hiley. Hiley back to Butel. Butel will attempt the long-range shot. Felt that McIntyre got a piece of it. But Great Britain will have the possession. McIntyre looking for some space. Doing well there is Oscar Knight. Knight drives into the paint and takes the Great Britain team up to the 23-point mark as we move towards the final minute of the first period. Andrew Butel will put up the shot and takes the USA to the 16-point mark. Charlie McIntyre. Quick hands from Great Britain, changing it to the other side where Jack Long converts for GB. Keyshawn Pear for the USA asks Butel to bring it up. 32 seconds left in the period. Butel looking to keep that USA scoreboard ticking over. Hiley will put up the 3 and it lands. So USA up to 19. Great Britain 25. One more opportunity for Great Britain to extend the lead. Jack Long will have a 2-point attempt there as referee Gustavo Mateus points at the line. It's over, and that'll be the end of the first period. Great Britain leads USA by 25 points to 19. Second period about to get underway. USA will inbound with Smith. Smith hands it to Butel. Jude Harley now will put up the shot. And the USA edge closer to Great Britain. 21 plays 25, and Charlie McIntyre in possession now for Great Britain. To get into the paint, he does, but McIntyre plays it to Long. Long will have all the time he needs, but unable to convert for Great Britain. Jude Harley plays it back to Jonathan Smith, across to Butel, Andrew Butel. Will put up the shot, banks it in, and takes USA to 23. So a 2-point game. Charlie McIntyre in possession for Great Britain. Looking to play Harvey in, and Harvey decides to play it out too long. Back to McIntyre. McIntyre trying to get the pass through to Thomas Harvey, but good hands there by Keyshawn Pear. Asks Great Britain to have another attempt. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and Oscar Knight unable to convert for Great Britain. Jonathan Smith for the USA. Andrew Butel across to Jude Harley. Harley will pass it back to Butel. Butel asking too much of Jonathan Smith there, and quick anticipation by Charlie McIntyre. Smith will be blown for the foul. Plays it to McIntyre. McIntyre will put up the 3 and takes Great Britain up to 28 points. Just under 8 to play in the first half. Butel sets himself up, puts up the shot, and narrows the Great Britain lead down to the 3 points. McIntyre looking for Oscar Knight, and he finds him. Third for Great Britain, and takes his game points tally up to 11 points. Jude Harley in possession for the USA, looking for some space, trying to get past Oscar Knight, and plays in Jonathan Smith, who converts for the USA. So both teams trading baskets either side of the court. Jack Long now for Great Britain, working side by side with Oscar Knight. Plays it across to Charlie McIntyre, back to Long, and now Knight puts up and takes Great Britain up to 32. Jude Harley for the USA. Finds Jonathan Smith. Smith's shot bounces up off the ring, and rebound collected by McIntyre. McIntyre working there with Wilson. Timeout's going to be called by the USA. Great Britain 34, USA 27. Just over 6 minutes to play here in this first half. USA in possession. Andrew Butel finds Jude Hiley. Hiley puts up the shot. A little bit of a knock there from the chair of Oscar Knight, affecting Hiley's attempt. McIntyre finds some space, puts up the shot. USA lock it out though, and pick up the rebound. Butel in possession. Keyshawn Pear able to make that one count for USA, and Oscar Knight will bring the ball up the center of the court for Great Britain. Knight will find McIntyre. Knight slipping around the back door there, but number 9 for Great Britain, Joel Clifton, will eventually see the ball converted for the men in white. 36 plays 27 for 49 to play. Great Britain looking to try and assert some dominance over the USA, but on the other end of the court, loose ball picked up by McIntyre. Oscar Knight to Clifton. Collected by Jude Hiley. Hiley will be called for the offensive foul. Great Britain will make the substitution. Onto the court comes Thomas Harvey. He will replace Charlie McIntyre, and Rowan Olsen will get his first bit of action. Harvey to Clifton. Clifton gets the shot up. Hiley will pick up the rebound and bring the ball up for the USA. Foul is called against Gavin Peterson on that occasion, so 2 offensive fouls in a row there committed by the USA. Joel Clifton for Great Britain now. He will set himself up for the shot, and taking Great Britain up to their biggest lead of the game so far, 11 points. 3.5 minutes left here in this first half. Listen to Butel. Butel back to Keyshawn Pear. Jude Hiley. Shot clock at 8. Keyshawn Pear puts up the 3, almost drops, but Oscar Knight comes away with it for Great Britain. Joel Clifton unable to convert, but that'll be tidied up by Alexander Marshall-Wilson. Takes Great Britain up to 40 points. Foul picked up there by Alexander Marshall-Wilson. Substitution USA. Onto the court comes Sebastian Milan, and off goes Butel. Keyshawn Pear will add 2 additional points there to the USA. Takes them up to 29. Thomas Harvey looking to find Oscar Knight. Knight does well there as the pass was dipping below him, and he will take Great Britain up to 42. Goes crashing to the ground right in front of me here, and Sebastian Milan looking to find some space. Draws the foul from Great Britain's number 9. Just confirm that yet, number 9, Joel Clifton. Jonathan Smith finds Sebastian Milan. Milan can't find a way past the attentions of Alexander Marshall Wilson. USA just unable to convert their opportunities at the moment. Oscar Knight. Joel Clifton will play it back to Thomas Harvey. Harvey looking for some space. And Clifton will set himself up. Shot clock running down. Good composure there showed by Joel Clifton. Keeps Great Britain's points ticking over. 44 plays 25. Great Britain with the advantage. Minute 20 left here in this first half, and Keyshawn Pear will get USA up to 31. Joel Clifton sets himself up once again and keeps converting from that position on the court. Final 45 seconds of this first half. Great Britain with a healthy lead at the moment. Sebastian Milan. Keyshawn Pear looking to put the shot up. Good work there from Oscar Knight, and Smith recovers for the USA. But the 24-second violation goes against the USA. Good work from Thomas Harvey, finding a way past Keyshawn Pear, but unable to make the most of that opportunity, and Jude Hiley will bring it up for the USA now. And Jonathan Smith is now the latest USA player guilty of an offensive foul. Harley picked up a foul there. So Great Britain will go to the line after this timeout. Great Britain 46, USA 31. Thomas Harvey to the line, try and extend Great Britain's lead here. And he picks up the first attempt there. And, 1 from 2 on that occasion. USA will inbound. On the court for USA is Davis Taylor, the number 0 for the USA. Substitution, Great Britain. Coming on for Great Britain is Alexander Marshall Wilson. Great Britain coach Eddie Orobemi is told he can't have that substitution. Stevens for the USA finds Hali's pass asking a lot of Timothy Houston. He's unable to keep the ball in court. The timekeeper letting the clock run out. So referee Gustavo Mateus from Brazil will make sure that every second counts here. So 1.2 seconds left, and that will be the end of the first half. Great Britain lead the USA by 47 points to 31. Oscar Knight leading the scoring in the game with 17 points for Great Britain. Andrew Butel contributing the points for the USA with 13. And Oscar Knight creeps up towards a double-double with 8 rebounds. So at halftime here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Great Britain 47, USA 31. Second half action underway here in Sao Paulo. We're at the Paralympic Training Center here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Great Britain taking on the USA, and first points of the second half will go to Great Britain. Good work there from Great Britain's number 11, Jack Long, and in possession now Colin Lancaster for the USA, Timothy Houston. Lancaster to Andrew Butel. Butel will look for the pass to Jude Hiley, and Hiley converts for the USA. So first points of the second half to the team in blue. McIntyre for Great Britain. Thomas, and Oscar Knight will drive in, but unable to convert. But foul's going to go against the USA number 21 there, Martrell Stevens. And Oscar Knight takes Great Britain up to 50 points. Both free throws that visit to the line. Colin Lancaster, though, will bring the ball up for the USA. Andrew Butel. Timothy Houston. Lancaster puts up the shot and takes the USA up to 35. Great Britain in control at the moment. Charlie McIntyre will find Oscar Knight. Foul's going to go against Martrell Stevens once again. And back to the line goes Oscar Knight. One from two, so GB 52, USA 35. Houston plays it to Jude Hiley. Hiley looking to get past Knight, but Knight shutting that pathway down. And Knight picks up another rebound. McIntyre to Knight. Charlie McIntyre unable to convert on that occasion. Timothy Houston will grab possession back for the USA. Jude Hiley moving down the right-hand side of the USA court. There from the USA, goes straight out of bounds. Timeout called by USA coach Scott Mayer. 7:29 to play in the third period. Great Britain 52, USA 35. Both sets of supporters here in the Paralympic Training Center in Sao Paulo, rallying the team zone. Great Britain with the loudest support here in the stadium. And Great Britain edge up to the 54-point mark. Thomas Harvey converting for the men in white, reigning European champions, of course. Colin Lancaster to Andrew Butel. Butel looking for Martrell Stevens. Stevens will get the shot up. Wasn't really in control of that attempt. And as a result, Great Britain another opportunity to extend their lead with 6:34 left in this third period. McIntyre will find Thomas Oscar Knight to add to his point tally. Picks up the loose ball. Throws it across to McIntyre, who will find Jack Long. Leading the game scoring with 20 points, 13 for Andrew Butel for the USA. Quick pass from Jude Harley trying to find Houston, but Houston not quite on the same page as Jude Harley. Substitution USA. Keyshawn Pear on, Jonathan Smith, as well as Gavin Peterson for the USA. Charlie McIntyre will look to play in Harvey. Harvey plays it out to Jack Long. And Long further extends the Great Britain lead now. 23-point advantage for Great Britain. Andrew Butel looking for some space. It opens up initially, but good tracking back there from Great Britain's number 5, Ian Barker. Jonathan Smith unable to make anything happen there for the USA. Thomas will find McIntyre, and McIntyre will play it in for Ian Barker. Great Britain now up to 60, 4:50 to play here in the third. Butel for USA, closely watched there by Great Britain's Rowan Olsen. Eventually Timothy Houston will tidy up for the USA and take them up to 37 points. McIntyre for Great Britain. Jack Long trying to get past Pear and get into the zone. Pear able to stem the tide initially, but once again, great work from Great Britain, total control of this game. Thomas Harvey taking Great Britain up to 62. Timothy Houston with the three-point attempt. Timeout called by the USA. Scott Mayer. So 3:47 to play here in this third period. Great Britain 62, USA 37. 3:47 to play here in the third, and McIntyre will pick it up just inside the Great Britain half. Return pass from Liam Barker to McIntyre. Quick hands and interchange there between Great Britain, and Liam Barker will take the assist from Jack Long. Keyshawn Pear will answer straight back from the USA. McIntyre in possession for Great Britain as we move towards the final 3 minutes of the period. Tagris will put up the three, and great work there from Tagris as he pushes the Great Britain score up to 67. Smith takes USA to 41. USA number 9. Charlie McIntyre banks it off the backboard. Beautiful shooting technique there from Charlie McIntyre. Beautiful for USA. Asking too much of Jonathan Smith. So Great Britain pick up the possession just inside their own half. Jack Long will take a break, and onto the court comes Joel Clifton. Timothy Houston for the USA. And Houston plays it into Gavin Peterson. Peterson unable to convert, but USA will have the possession on the baseline. Gavin Peterson for the USA. Keyshawn Pear to Houston. Houston finds Keyshawn Pear. Just not finding any space to get into the zone, and the 24-second violation called against the USA. So solid defense from Great Britain, making it extremely difficult for the USA at the moment. McIntyre working there with Marshall Wilson, and on the other side of the zone, Joel Clifton adds more points for Great Britain. So 71 points for Great Britain as we move into the final minute of this third period with a 30-point advantage over the USA. Houston having a few issues with his chair. So after that break and play, USA will inbound. Sebastian Milan now for Team USA. Trying to get past McIntyre. McIntyre strips the ball away from the USA number 2, and he will slow the play. Total control now. McIntyre marshalling his troops like a general, and Everest unable to add to the scoreboard. Final 16 seconds of this period. Sebastian Milan finds Kishan Pe. And just not able to find space to get the shot up. And Kishan Pe getting a swat in the face. That occasion, Tagrest is the guilty party. USA making a couple of substitutions to allow for some treatment for Kishan Pe. Colin Lancaster and Jude Harley come onto the court. Harley had to get the immediate shot up as the end of the period sounds. So 1 quarter to play here in Sao Paulo in the Pool B encounter between Great Britain and the USA. Great Britain have a 30-point advantage going into that 4th period, 71-41. Final period about to get started here in Sao Paulo. Just having a look at the top performers so far in the game. Oscar Knight sitting on a double-double with 20 points and 10 rebounds for Great Britain, and Andrew Butel still with the 13 points, leads the way for the USA, and USA in possession now. Sebastian Milan to Jonathan Smith. Smith back to Milan. Milan to Smith. Shot clock is at 9. Great Britain not allowing any space for the USA and forcing the USA to pass the ball around quickly, and that shot will land there for Andrew Butel, and he also draws the foul. So Butel to the line for a potential three-point play. And he converts to take USA up to 44 points. Charlie McIntyre for Great Britain, pulling the strings for the men in white. McIntyre, he'll put up the shot. .73 points for Great Britain. Sebastian Milan for the USA. Colin Lancaster, Andrew Butel back to Lancaster. Shot clock at 6. So Milan needs to get the shot up. Rebound picked up there by Joel Clifton. And once again, McIntyre in possession. Back to Clifton. Clifton with plenty of time. Puts the shot up and takes Great Britain to 75 points. Lancaster to Milan. Great Britain's defense solid as a rock. No space for USA at all, so away comes Charlie McIntyre. Plays the pass into the paint. And Great Britain will move up to the 77-point mark as Clifton converts once again. Milan trying to bank it off there. Bounces off the rim and McIntyre will pick up the rebound. Space opens up for McIntyre. Tagris and Tagris edging Great Britain closer to 80 points, 7 and 19 to play here in this game. Jonathan Smith, Jude Hiley, Jonathan Smith. Lancaster, shot clock at 3. Milan gets the shot up. Will tidy up for the USA on the second attempt. McIntyre. Plays it across to Clifton, and Clifton will play in Great Britain's number 13, George Gray. Jonathan Smith converting for the USA. McIntyre once again in possession for Great Britain. Looking to play the ball into the paint, and once again Joel Clifton adding to his points tally in the game. Up to 14 points from Joel Clifton. Jonathan Smith finds Colin Lancaster. Lancaster plays it to Butel, and Butel back out to Lancaster. Lancaster banks it in off the backboard. And USA reach 50 points in the game. And McIntyre working well with Tagris. Good work there from Tagris, providing the assist for McIntyre. Lancaster to Smith. To Butel, Smith. Hiley back to Smith. Shot clock at 7. Smith puts it up and converts for Team USA. 4:52 to play in the game. Great Britain on their way to maintaining their unbeaten run. McIntyre will put up the 3. Doesn't drop for him on that occasion. Tidying up there nicely. Rebound collected initially by George Gray and finished by Joel Clifton. So timeout called. 4:37 left in the game. Great Britain 87, USA 52. Final 4.5 minutes left of the game. USA in possession. Timothy Houston, Colin Lancaster, Andrew Butel. Shot clock at 6 for USA. Butel will put up the 3. Rebound will be picked up by Great Britain's Henry Kavanagh, getting some court time. Harvey Thomas in possession for Great Britain and opens up for Thomas. Thomas takes Great Britain up to the 89-point mark. 3:55 to play in the game. Jonathan Smith banks it in and gets USA up to the 54-point mark. Thomas for Great Britain. Liam Barker closely watched there by Butel. Shot clock at 11. Thomas will get his way into the zone past Milan and converted there by Henley Kavanagh. Kavanagh will go to the line. Takes Great Britain closer to the 100-point mark. Violation on that occasion by Great Britain as Henley Kavanagh broke the zone. Sorry, not Kavanagh, Brown. Try that again. George Gray. Butel. Rebound collected by Thomas Harvey. Harvey will find George Gray. Gray will convert. So Great Britain to 93. George Gray with an opportunity to close out a 3-point play. Takes Great Britain to the 94-point mark. We're still 2 minutes 50 to play here in this game. Jonathan Smith. Milan to Houston, and George Gray is called for the holding foul. Houston in possession for the USA. Looking for some space down the baseline, but it's shut down very quickly by Oliver Porter. And rebound will be plucked out of there by Leon Barker as he looks to create another opportunity for Great Britain. And George Gray unable to convert. Rebound collected by Houston. Foul's going to be called on Thomas Harvey. Colin Lancaster for USA. Final 2 minutes of the game. Houston to Smith. Smith will convert. Harvey will inbound and give it to Liam Barker. Barker with plenty of time gets his shot up and edges Great Britain closer to the triple figure mark. Sebastian Milan unable to convert for USA, and Liam Barker will drive down the middle of the court. Finds Thomas Harvey, back to Barker. Barker takes Great Britain up to 98. 1:22 to play in the game. Timothy Houston trying to get some consolation points for the USA. Utal converts, edges Team USA up towards the 60-point mark. Final minute of the game about to start, and Barker will play it towards Thomas. And Thomas will put up the shot, doesn't land. Houston to Smith. Butel fouled there by Liam Barker. Timothy Houston with possession for USA. Smith. And Smith's pass asking too much of Colin Lancaster, so Great Britain with 23 seconds left on the clock will try to push their score to the triple figures. They opt not to do that and will run the clock down. So Great Britain will close out this game with a 40-point convincing victory over Team USA and remain undefeated in this pool. And we'll move on to the knockout stages as the winners of Pool B. So from Sao Paulo, Brazil, the Paralympic Training Center, Great Britain have beaten the USA by 98 points to 58.